Brokenness does not mean worthlessness. Now that's a mouthful. I've tried to change it 2 or 3 times, and it don't work. I just had to keep it what the Lord spoke to me. So I wrote it down, and that's what we're going with. Brokenness does not mean worthlessness. I want to start off with Ephesians chapter 2. It says, "For by grace you have been saved through faith. And that not of yourself, it is the gift of God. Not of works, lest anyone should boast. For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them." The first thing I want to talk to you about is we all have a purpose. How many believe that? I don't care who the oldest person is in the house or the youngest person is in the house. God has a purpose for each and every one of us. Let me get to my glasses here. You see, the purpose of this glass is to carry things. It's to hold it, right? I can take a pitcher of water and it does not leak. That's its purpose. You can sit down and have a glass of water, depending on what kind of vessel that you're using, cup of coffee, right? Whatever. But its purpose is to hold something. This vessel, its purpose is to hold something to drink. In this case, water. And so it gives us something that we can water a plant with. Take a drink with if we're thirsty, right? Help somebody else out who may be thirsty. We have a purpose. God has fashioned us in the way that we have a purpose. When God created us, when the craftsman who made this glass put it under extreme heat, and it bubbled up, and he was able to twist it and do things to it to shape it into this shape for this vessel. And the purpose that he had in mind was, I'm going to make 4 of them, put them in a box, and we're going to sell them as a set. And I have a couple boxes of these in the conference room. And I have them sitting up. And a week ago, I bumped into a table and knocked off one of these. See if I can do this without getting hurt. And it fell and it shattered. And I got down in the floor. And I'm picking up all... I had the lights off. I had to turn the lights on to kind of get the shine, right? And I'm picking up all the pieces and throwing them all away. And then I got my flashlight out of my phone. And I'm looking for all the pieces with the different angles of the light. Then I went and got the vacuum and sucked it all up and made sure there was no fragments laying around, no splinters of glass. And I went to throw this into the trash can to take it out. And I went like this, and I immediately felt the Lord say, "Don't throw that away." And I first looked at it and said, what am I going to do with this? I'm going to get hurt with this is what's going to happen. What am I going to do with this? And immediately a message came to mind. And I thought, Lord, you're wanting me to preach something off of this. So the first point is pretty simple. God has a purpose for each and every one of us. It's sad that a lot of people go through their whole life and don't even realize what their purpose is. Let me help you with your purpose. You have a few purposes, okay? Your creation purpose is to praise Him. When Satan got fired, we got hired. It is our job to praise the Lord, right? Look at your neighbor and say, he got fired, you got hired. Now the question is, are you fulfilling your job? Are you praising Him? Are you doing what God created you to do? Let everything. Now let me tell you something. As a bishop, there's some things I have to do to qualify to be a bishop. As a pastor, there are things I have to do to qualify to be a pastor. Our elders and our deacons, there are certain things you have to do to qualify to be an elder or a deacon. There's certain things you have to do to qualify to be a teacher. But to be a praiser, there's only one qualification to be a praiser. Let everything that hath breath praise ye the Lord. When you were created and he breathed life into you, he created you to praise. Yet will I praise him. Now, he also created us to be a witness to family and friends and those he puts in our path. So we have a purpose. Are we fulfilling that purpose? Number 2, if you take notes, you're going to want to write down the things in yellow because that's what we're going to be talking about. Psalms 27:10 says, when my father and my mother forsake me, then the Lord will take care of me. I want you to understand that we are fragile vessels. I dropped this and it hit the ground. It didn't bounce. It didn't just roll. It hit and I immediately, without seeing it happen, it actually hit me in the shoulder when it fell. And I was like, oh, and I looked and I was like, oh. And when it hit, it didn't sit there and crack until I picked it. It was everywhere. We're fragile. We've got to be careful. We need to understand that we as humans, we are fragile vessels, right? One thing we need to keep in mind that when we are dropped, we break. We might chip, right? We might crack. But there's been many times in our lives you've been dropped. You might have a parent who dropped you, and I don't mean physically. You might have a parent who physically dropped you too. I don't know. But you might have just at one time. You might have a parent who dropped you. You might have a child who dropped you. You might have a spouse who dropped you. You might have some friends who dropped you. Some co-workers who's dropped you. I'm talking about who's let you down. And every time somebody drops you, you might get a nick, a chip comes out of you. How many of you have ever been to a restaurant and you pick up a glass that they bring you a glass and it's got a chip in it? And you kind of like, oh, can I get a different glass? That's got a chip in it. What happened, right? That should have been tossed right away. That's what we think, right? Don't serve me the chip glass. Now, a lot of us might just turn it to put the chip on the opposite side so we don't get a lip cut and we'll just keep right on drinking out of it, right? How many's been in a restaurant and you see a crack down it? And you're like, well, it's holding my liquid. It's not leaking, so it's okay. And you just keep right on. I've done that. Just keep on drinking out of it. There's going to be times in your life where there's going to be some things that's going to happen to you. You're going to be dropped. And it's going to chip you. It might crack you. It might even break you. And you walk around broken. You walk around looking like this. Because we're fragile. You can look and this has some pretty jagged edges on it. I even thought, well, if I could knock some of these edges off so I don't get hurt on this message, right? Then I thought, now, this is pretty fragile. I'm afraid, there's a huge crack right there. I'm afraid if I do any type of tapping to it, that I won't be able to use it at all. It's just going to be a stem. But its purpose was to be this mate. And as you can see, it does not do its job well. And I can't even find a side to take a drink from. More than likely, there's small pieces of glass still attached to it that I would consume if I attempted to drink this. So what we need to understand is we're going to get hurt. We're going to be broken. And I'm not talking about, when she broke her alabaster box and we're like, Lord, I'm breaking myself open and getting... I'm talking about we're hurt, we're broken, we're hurt. We can no longer carry the purpose. We no longer have the passion passion in us to pray for somebody right now. We don't have the compassion to help somebody right now. Someone's trying to talk to you, and you're like, yeah, I know. Look at me. Do I look like I'm in the place to help you? Look at me. I can't even hold water. My purpose is gone. And people come into the church Sunday after Sunday, and they sit in a pew, and they look at everybody else and see them holding their water, and I can't hold nothing. And I'm supposed to go home feeling good about myself. Everyone says, it's good to be in the house of the Lord. God bless you. You're blessed and highly favored. Yeah. Do I look blessed and highly favored? I'm broken and highly dangerous. But I'm supposed to sit in the sanctuary and smile. Supposed to go to work tomorrow and be that Christian and smile and be a great witness, deep down knowing I'm broken. Number 3, brokenness. Okay, I'll read it. Go ahead. Was it Proverbs 29? An angry man stirs up strife, and a furious man abounds in transgression. A man's pride will bring him low, but the humble in spirit will retain honor. Brokenness can be dangerous. Hurt people can hurt people. Look at this. I can hold this glass. I can hand it off to anyone in here. No one's going to be afraid to touch this glass. No one's afraid to drink out of this glass. I'll walk around with this glass with vertigo and not so worried about anything. This one worries me. If I miss a step and I go down, it's dangerous. Handing it off to somebody. You see, this cup is not only dangerous to me, it's dangerous to those around me. And how I handle myself determines whether I hurt myself or hurt somebody else. Not intentionally. Just because I'm broken. I'm dangerous. I'm hurt. Somebody can tell a joke. Somebody can say something and not know what I'm going through and can set me off. And I can get mad and just kind of retaliate for just a moment. Not realizing I just cut them. I just hurt them. And now they're bleeding. And they don't want to talk to me anymore. And although they're the ones who made the statement, it wasn't intentional, nor was yours. But you're broken. So you're dangerous. And I think we have churches all over the U.S. who is in this state right here. We can't carry anything. Oh, we want to. We want to look like that. And we used to look like. We remember looking like that. I remember when this and I remember when that. I remember there was a time in this and I remember there was a time in that. I remember. But now I'm broken. Now I'm hurting. Now I'm wounded. What do I do with it? My first thought was to throw it in the box, to throw it away. Now I like demolition. I actually thought about putting it in the box and just tapping off all the edges, just down to the stem, and then throw it away. But God wouldn't let me throw it away. I said, I got to put it somewhere so I don't get hurt. So I had to put it in the very back of the conference room on that table so I wouldn't just grab it by accident or something. I had to kind of get it out of the way and save it. I didn't even know when the Lord was going to have me preach it. I had no clue when. I didn't realize I was going to be preaching it this weekend. But we have to understand that people, when they're hurt, might say something. That's why you can say something to someone in church and they'll laugh and joke with you, and you can say the same thing to another person and they get mad. And they block you on Facebook. They don't receive any of your text messages. They cancel any plans they had with you, and you don't know why. What'd I do? Well, you told them that joke. I told you that joke and you laughed. I know. Not realizing they can't carry it right now. they have no place to carry it. And you're lucky they didn't try to retaliate, because somebody's going to get hurt. Brokenness can be dangerous. And we have a church full of broken people. And we wonder why they're not going out and reaching. Because hurt people hurt people. And we try to go out and we put a Band-Aid over this and be like, okay, I'm well. I'm good. Won't you come to our church on Sunday? I don't think so. What do? I really don't do anything. I just sit next to. We got some really beautiful people here, though. They hold their water well. What do? I just sit next to them. And then next Sunday, I kind of sit behind them. Sunday before last, I sat in the back. I didn't go last week. I just stayed home because I'm broken. There's no place for me. I'm broken. And I'm afraid we have a church. And when I'm not talking about Journey Church. I'm talking about God's church. We have so many people who are broken. Philippians chapter 3 says it like this: Brethren, I do not count myself to have apprehended, but one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind me, and reaching forward to those things which are ahead, I press towards the goal for the prize of the upward call of God in Christ Jesus. So, brokenness doesn't hold. You can't hold your water. And so we feel like, why even show up? Except for we realize He's not done with me yet. He's not done with me yet. There's so much more to this story. He's not done with me yet. He's not done with me yet. You see, I don't know what He's going to do with me yet. But what I do know is He's not finished with me yet. So I'm still going to go. When I might sit on the back row, I might sit behind you, I might sit right next to you. But I know He's not finished with me yet. I might help out in the office and open up letters. I might be used as a paper shredder for a while. I don't know exactly what He's going to use me for. Put a candle in me and light me and put me on a shelf. Maybe I'll be a candle holder. But whatever it might be, He ain't finished with me yet. I'm going to have to move past the pain. I remember what I used to be like. And I have people in the church that I see, and I remember being like them. I remember how we was praying for people, and now people don't want to get near me. And I don't want to get near others because I'm afraid they might say something not realizing what I've been through and cut me. Or worse, I cut them. I just know He ain't done with me yet. My brokenness don't hold. There's 2 points to that. It don't hold water. However, it ain't holding up this way either. I ain't staying broken. I'm moving forward. God, here I am with everything within me. I might be broken. You might not see water, me holding water, but you might see tears coming out of me. But what you will see is I'm going to come, and I'm going to be faithful. And I might not be able to do what this one does. I might not look like that one. I might not be allowed to play with the children or my neighbors or whoever because of how I am right now. I'm unstable at the moment. But what I do know is He ain't done with me yet. He's got a work to do. And the difference is if I'm going to go home and say, don't touch me, Jesus. Or come in and say, here I am. Use me. Use me. Number 5. 2 2 Corinthians 12:9 says this, and he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. For my strength is made perfect in weakness. Think about that. God says, my strength is made perfect in the midst of your brokenness. Whew. Forgetting those things which are behind you. That's what we just came out of. That's why I'm here. Okay, God, I'm with you. I'm leaving that thing behind me. And I'm reaching forward to those things which are ahead. All right, he ain't done with me yet. He's got bigger plans. Here we go. And he said to me, he said, my grace is sufficient for you. And my strength is made perfect in your brokenness. Leave it behind. Reach forward. I got great things in the story. Is there more to that one? Brokenness does not mean I don't have a purpose. Brokenness does not mean I don't have a purpose. Go to the image for me. This is a thing in Japan. We have a couple ladies in the church brought in a couple, I'm going to call them knockoffs. Foes. I don't know what they are. Is that real? Oh, this one is real. And let me see how it's. Kintsugi. Kintsugi is how it's pronounced. It's the Japanese art of healing. And what happens is when one of these vessels is broken, Kintsugi is how it's pronounced. They will take tree sap from a special tree. They will take gold and silver or even platinum, and they will crush it to a powder, and they will mix it in that sap. And like a puzzle, they will sit and they will take each piece, and the missing pieces, they fill it in, and they will start filling it all in. I think I just cut myself. And they start filling it all in until they get all the pieces put together. And when it's finished, it would look like that. And here's the thing. It doesn't look the same as that one. But it can have a purpose again. However, the value has changed. You see, in Japan, they will take a vessel that has been broken and they will restore it with the art of healing, the kintsugi. And they will begin to work it. And they will put it back together with gold. And then they will put it up for sale. And that piece has now been claimed a masterpiece. And what was just a few dollars became worthless in the hands of the master. Becomes of great value. Can I tell you that many of us started off like this, have found ourselves like this, but if you would just let yourself get into the hands of the master, let him begin to put together all the broken pieces. Start putting together the pieces that you had dropped, and pieces that's been chipped away, pieces that's been cracked, pieces that have fallen to the ground and others have stepped on, kicked. And he will pick it all back up. He'll clean those pieces. And he will begin to place them in the correct position. And in time, you will not just be who you were. He's not going to restore you back to being who you were. Because now you have a testimony. Now they can look at you and say, wait a minute. What is this from? What happened here? Where did that piece come from? Oh, what you don't know is 8 years ago, this piece right here got knocked out when this person did this to me. And the enemy attacked me here. And one night I was by myself and I hated myself, and so I tried to take my life, and this part was gone. And I went through a divorce, and my kids betrayed me here, and my family did this, and my job fired me here, and I ended up with cancer over here, and I just found myself. And then when I put all the pieces into the hand of the master, whew, he started singing me a song. I'm not done with you yet. I'm not done with you yet. There's so much more to your story. Look up, man. I'm not done with you yet. I'm not done with you yet. I'm going to heal you from that, my friend. I'm not done with you yet. He told you 6 months. Whew. I've got work for you to do for the next 12 years. You're going to live and not die. And he's going to just keep on working to the point whenever you walk and you can be that witness and someone says, you don't understand what I've been through. Let's talk about it. Let me tell you. What are you going through? Been there. Got broken through that. But God healed me. The same God who healed me through my pain, the same God who healed me through my brokenness, is the same God who can heal you through your brokenness. Now, it feels different. It looks different. And some people might even say it's ugly. Other people will say it's abstract art. But the fact of the matter is, it now has a new purpose and a greater value. Now the enemy sees, wait just a moment, I found you, I destroyed you, how are you back? I won't come at you again. Except for now. How many's ever heard that when you get a scar, that the skin, the tissue is so thick that it's almost impossible to rip that piece open again. It has to go beside it, a new area, because the scar tissue becomes so strong, it's almost impossible to tear that flesh in the same place. Same with the bone marrow. When the bone is broken and it heals back, it heals with a bone marrow a little thicker. You might break that arm above the same place you just broke it. But it's almost impossible to break it I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying it's almost impossible to break it in the same exact spot. The enemy is going to come back to you, and he's going to try to use lust. He's going to try to use alcoholism. He's going to try to use addiction. He's going to try to use gossip. He's going to try to use gluttony. He's going to try to use greed. He's going to try to use jealousy. Whatever it was that tore you down. And God put you back together and gave you a greater value, because now you know when the enemy comes at you with greed. Nope. That's not my source. I found my source. My source doesn't come from a paycheck. My source doesn't come from a government. My source comes from the Father in heaven. Addiction. Oh, I don't have to lean on a superficial high that comes from taking something or shooting up by something. I know I had lived that way for a while, and it broke me. But when God restored me, he set me free. He healed me from it to the point that whom the Son has made free is free indeed. I don't lean on drugs anymore. I don't have to lean on alcohol anymore. I don't have to lean on women or men any longer. Why? Because he's made me whole. I'm new again. Now you see all the little pieces. I can break this piece off here, but I can't break this piece here because it's gold. So that I'm still vulnerable to things. But now that I know, I don't have to walk around like this for 6 to 10 years. When I get hurt, when I get fractured, I don't have to be broken. It's like a car window. Many years ago, Father's Day weekend at our church, I was carrying stuff into the church. We was having Father's Day service, and I had my hands full, and I got into the church, and I was putting stuff down, and the lady comes in. Pastor, you left your door open. I closed it for you. Okay, thanks. I think my keys and stuff's still in the car. And I walked out, and it's all locked up. And my keys are sitting right there in the back floorboard. Oh, no. So I called AAA, and one of the guys of the church, his name was Daryl. Daryl standing there. Daryl looked just like, his name slipped me. Charles Manson. Just like Charles Manson. They called him Chuck as a joke, but he looked just like Charles Manson. And he says, Pastor, I got it. I'm like, well, I got AAA coming. All right, I'll wait on them. So I'm preaching, and I look, and he holds my keys up in the back, and he lays them down in the table by the door. I said, that's cool. I didn't even see the AAA pull up. And I walked out, and my back window was shattered. And I was like, Daryl! He goes, I got tired of waiting. He goes, I just knocked it out for you. He goes, we canceled that so you won't get charged now. Huh. And he said, but I did you a favor. I broke out the little wing and not the big window. So we take my car the next day to get the window fixed. And he said it would have been cheaper to knock out the big window than the little wing. I said, of course. But the thing of it is, I didn't just leave it broken and drive around with it broken. I took it to get it fixed immediately so no one else could just stick their hand in there and open up and get what they wanted, right? When you find yourself broken by everybody else, maybe trying to help you out, maybe not, selfish enough to say, I got tired of waiting. I never asked you to wait to begin with. You volunteered to do that. He even suggested I knock that window out. No, I called AAA. It's not knock the window out. So when the enemy decides to knock you out anyways and break you anyways, we know now that we can run to God and say, fix me. Fix me. You see, this one here looks like it may have been broken to a few pieces. This one here looks like someone took a hammer to it. Like someone took some vengeance on this piece. And when they sat and pieced it all back together and gold to hold it all back together, oh, it took some time. But now, they don't look alike. And they've got different stories. And when this one comes in to church and says, hey, I don't look like you. I don't look like you. I don't look like you. Wow. I don't look like you. And he says, no, you don't. But I used to look like you. What do you mean? You used to look like me. Sit down here. Let's talk. There's an amazing grace. How sweet the sound. He saved a wretch that looked like me, you, when I was like you. You see, there will be people who will walk in the doors of our church. I won't be able to minister to. I won't connect with. But someone in here has walked the path they're on today. Somebody in this room knows what they're going through because they have been there and been healed from it. And say, listen, I might not look like you, but I used to. Let's talk. Let me pray with you. Let me help you. Let me mentor you. There'll be a pot coming in here. And this pot's going to say, I don't look like any of you all. but sits down next to this and say, I do look like you. Can you help me? What about you? I used to look like you. I can help you. I can mentor you. I can love on you. And this one may not have been through the same thing, but you know what? It's been similar. I've been through the healing process, still healing. I'm still healing. And so what I'm trying to get us to understand is we've all been hurt. We're all broken at some point or another. The crazy thing of it is, we don't have to stay broken. I didn't choose to be broken, but I don't have to choose to stay broken because He's a healer. In our Wednesday night Bible study, we've been going over the names of God. He's a provider. He's a healer. One of them says He's the God who's with you. He's there. He's here. Shema. He's here. Even when you look like this, absolutely. Even when you're broken. Even when you feel hopeless. Even when you feel worthless. He's here. And just because you feel like you have no place, God says, I'm not finished with you yet. I'm just going to have to take my time. And some people are more damaged than others. Some of you are broken and you got some big pieces and He can put that back together, big pieces, kind of like this pot is. And you just got some big pieces. And some of you have really been through some stuff. And He's really going to have to work on putting you back together. But let me remind you, He who created you once has the original blueprints that nobody else has. And your blueprints are like nobody else's. And He has the original blueprints. How to build you back. My boys love Legos. And we will sit down and build their Legos. And it's piece by piece, and the directions will say, and if you skip over a piece, you might go 4 steps before you realize you skipped something or put something on backwards. And you got to go and tear that thing back down to that one step to fix it, to put it back. But once it's all put back together, and they're looking at it, and then they say the most famous words in our house. What is it, kids?
Dad, don't touch it.
Dad, don't touch it. I have been known somehow to break every Lego set they've made. Davis built one, and I was kidding him, and I picked it up, and I was like, whoo. He goes, Dad, please don't break it. I just said, I'm not going to break it. Pop! And wings and pieces fell off. And I looked at him. He went, just give it to me. I was like, and I handed it to him and said, I didn't mean to do that. He goes, I know. I was like, how did I do that? He had a beautiful piece that I loved that he had created and put together, built, whatever. I said, can I borrow this? I was doing chapel for a local Christian school for Chapel Friday. Sure. We put it in a box with pillows. I got it there. I got the pillows out. I had it sitting out on the table. I told the funny story. All the kids laughing at me. It's sitting right there. Look how amazing. I went the whole lesson. It wasn't broken. I picked it up to show them something, and it collapsed in my hands. Pieces in the floor. And they all started laughing at me. I was like, don't ever mention this to my son. And so we pushed it all back into the box. I pick up all the pieces. And I'm like, Davis, yeah. You know the piece that I used for, yeah. Where's the book to it? What do you mean? The instruction book. I don't know why. What'd you do? It wasn't on purpose. It never is, Dad. What'd you do? I was picking it up to put it back in the box, and it fell apart. You have all the pieces? Yes, but I need the book. Where's the book? I don't know. You see, here's the thing. We'll never get it back to what it was supposed to look like if we don't go back to the original blueprints. And Satan is going to try to convince you he knows how to restore you. I know how to make you happy. I know how to give you what you want. I know how to help you get this, that, and the other. But you know, as a parent, we can't give the kids everything that they want. You see, my kids, when they was little, they wanted different things. Eli was a big snacker. Eli loved sweets. If I let him eat all the sweets that he wanted to eat when he was a kid, he would have never eaten food. He would be 300 pounds with no teeth and diabetes today. Carson was a eater. If I were to let Carson eat all that he wanted to eat, he would just be one big enchilada. Davis liked weapons. If I let him play with knives as a kid, none of us would be here today. Right? None of us. He would have stabbed every one of us. I mean, we got stabbed with plastic ones. Imagine if I let him play with the real ones. So the enemy is going to try to tell you, I can give you what you want. But if we have learned anything from parents, we don't always want what's best for us. And God will step back and say, I designed you with a purpose, deacon. Don't let Satan get in there and mess up what I've created. I have a genuine blueprint when I created you. I realize the plan of the enemy is to steal, kill, and destroy, and it looks like he's winning. But God. Let's rewind that and say that again. The enemy looks like he's winning. He's come to steal, kill, and destroy. But God. But God. But how many times until you get the praise out of it, do you realize that what he has created you for, the enemy cannot stop? Who can stop you? You. It's not the enemy. It's what's in me. He who's in me can stop me. I can allow the enemy to use me, or I can allow the enemy to stay back. I can allow God to use me, or I can allow God to stay back. But I'm the one that makes the choice. But you only have two options. There is no third option. There is no, I don't want the devil and I don't want God. I can do this. There is no third option. It's God or the enemy. Which one do you want to be? So the question I want to ask tonight, and if you want to come on up and start playing, the question I want to present to you is, how many of us look like this? In some areas. It might be many areas. Financially. Maybe it's mentally. Maybe it's spiritually. Maybe it's with certain addictions or certain coping mechanisms. It might be so many different things. We look like this. But we come back to the place to say, God says, I'm not finished with you yet. So we look at this and we can say, I'm done. Or say, but God. I'm done. Or he's not. I'm done. But I give myself to you. And that's where it comes to us to decide. what we do next. I can take that cup and throw it into a box, and it's done. And it has served a short purpose, because I only had that one since October. Or I can use it, and whenever time the Lord wants to use this message somewhere, whether it's in a small group or a counseling session or another church, whatever the case may be, that can still be used for the kingdom. The question is, are you going to be done or but God? So tonight I want to open up the altar.